Hello and welcome to a special YouTube edition of Culture Shock. My name is Jackie Lang. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite movies of the holiday season, Les Miserables. And on my panel with me tonight I have Julia Flaherty.
Hey.
And Matt Cashton.
Hello. Mwah.
All right. So when the movie first came out on Christmas Day, I was able to go see it on Christmas Day. I was so excited and I fell in love with it. I absolutely just adored it. What did you guys think?
Well, I also saw it on Christmas Day, and it was everything that I'd hoped for. It lived up to my expectations. I knew the music. I knew everything about it. Well, not everything, but I really liked it.
What did you think, Julia?
It was spectacular. It was amazing.
Just amazing. That's
yes.
all we really need
That's
to say.
all I need to say.
Great.
I think when, so Anne Hathaway was nominated and did win then the Golden Globe, and she's now nominated for an Oscar. The movie itself got nominated for Best Picture for a Golden Globe, unfortunately did not win, but it is nominated for an Oscar as well, along with a few other nominations in there. Deserved?
Yeah, of course. I like it because it's like all these musical movies come out, and usually the expectations are set kind of low because like you got your theater critics who are always like, oh, it's not going to be as good as the original stage version. But I think this one does well as a movie, and I think it does well as an adaptation of the musical. It really kept its original form, and I think that's why it's so good.
And it's not even just musical critics who come out and say it's not as good as the musical. Movie or fans of the musical itself will come out and just be like, oh no, musical was way better, musical was way better. We saw that when Rent came out in '05. What they're called Rent heads were they liked the movie, but they thought the musical was way better, that kind of thing. Was there that disconnect here, do you think?
I'm sorry, but I love both. I think people just need to develop an appreciation for both film and the stage and realize that they are separate entities. Of course it's not going to be the same. I mean, come
Preach. Amen.
Really?
Preach,
I
girl.
have been saying that forever.
Yeah.
You can love both. It's allowed, everybody. You can love both.
Yes.
Love all. And I think as soon as people do understand that the way that you do movies is going to be different from the way that you do stage shows,
Exactly.
I think it's got to be done. I think a lot of people were afraid because the musical is so heavy that they were thinking that maybe it will, maybe they'll tone down some of that in the movie. If anything, they amplified it. So you felt everything deeper.
Yes.
One of the things that really resonates with me is when they have the song called Turning. But the whole song is about how, they had this fight. There were these schoolboys. They're like 19 years old. They had this fight and all of them died. The only person who comes out alive is Marius. And that doesn't really hit you until you see the movie version of that song and you just kind of realize they died for nothing. There was no point in that whatsoever, and nothing is going to change, and it just, tears.
I just got chills thinking about it. And that's not even a lie. That actually just happened.
And then the song that follows that is Empty Chairs at Empty Tables, which Marius sings, which we're going to talk about Marius a little bit after this. But which Marius sings. That song, you're in love with him, aren't you? I can tell already.
I pinned him on Pinterest.
Sir, your face is red. Your face, you blushed. He blushed. I don't know if you can tell on camera, he blushed. I'm getting more in the face too now, actually. Anyway, Marius sings the song Empty Chairs at Empty Tables. He goes back to the ABC Cafe, which his friends had been planning their whole revolution at, and now it's just him. And he sings that song about, I'm alive, but you're not. And that never really hit me before until Eddie Redmayne came into my life and sang that song. Eddie Redmayne was the single best male actor to come out of this movie. He's been in other things. He was primarily a British actor. He did his big kind of U.S. thing was he did My Week with Marilyn, which was nominated for an Oscar last year. He was in that movie. But now this is his real breakthrough into America. What did you think of our Marius?
Oh man, there's just so many thoughts that I think of when I think of him. I saw Les Mis and I was skeptical because at first I saw him in the Burberry ads and he was a good-looking man, but I always am skeptical of the models making the transition into film, and He proved me wrong. He was outstanding in my opinion.
Look at him
Oh my
go.
God.
Yep, he was.
Yeah.
It should be pointed
Just
out. I
keep
believe he
going.
was an actor before he did some modeling, but he kind of I think
think
took a
he
break
was,
with
yeah.
acting when he did modeling. But then he came back to the screen in a big way.
Perfect.
So loved Eddie Redmayne.
Yes.
Speaking of other stellar performances, we have to talk about Anne Hathaway. She,
Of course.
in case you didn't notice, when she did her song, she plays Fantine, who has the epic number, I Dreamed a Dream. When she sang her song, there was not a single cut in that entire performance. She sang that song live. She sang it in that one take. I don't know how many takes they did, but that was all one take that made it on screen. And it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all knew she could sing,
Oh,
but did you expect her to be able to do that well?
No, I think what made her performance unique was her ability to convey that emotion. It's a different version of the song that you've never heard before because she's crying and she's like beaten down. You can see the tears on her face and her makeup's all messed up. And then, but behind all that is a beautiful singing voice. And I think that's what made that song something different from the original version. Both versions are good, but this one just like rips at your heart.
She just did outstanding, and I love her. I love you, Anne Hathaway.
Hope she's
Do a
watching.
little shout out to her. I have to say, she did win the Golden Globe. If she doesn't win the Oscar, it will be the single biggest
Yeah.
travesty that has ever happened in the film industry. Because I'm sorry, like the other nominees are fantastic actresses. But this is Anne Hathaway's year, and she
is.
deserves it, especially the way
Yes.
she did this role, the emotion she brought to it, the passion she brought to it, she could be completely donned in like the most gorgeous dress, looking as beautiful as she ever does. And if she sang the song the way she did it, you would still be able to feel her heartbreak and just feel her despair. And I just sobbing. It was
The part that really spoke to me and was the breathing, like when she was just like,
Oh, yes.
exactly, and you wouldn't think that was that important.
Right. And it wasn't like a lyrical thing, but if it would have been, it just would not have been as powerful. It was, I love you, Anne Hathaway.
Let's get her
We
here.
all love you, Anne Hathaway. Can we just say that? You're
Yes.
amazing. So we've talked about the brilliant performances that we had so far, but we're going to take a turn. Was there anything in the movie, anything at all, just even the little nitpickiest thing, that you were like, or, oh?
I have one exact moment. Okay. There's a scene at the end in which Jean Valjean and Marius are talking, and the camera angle, for some reason, I don't know why, it killed me inside a little because it's just like, boom, like flipped on the side for like literally 2 seconds, and then it's brought back, and I'm like, did you catch that at all?
I didn't, but I'm going to have to go back and see
Yeah,
it again.
now I want-
It's just this one moment, like, what? Like, why did you do that?
If you haven't already, be sure to check out the Oscar special of Culture Shock. We do talk about that a little bit. Eric Zahn has some very interesting things to say about Thomas Hooper, who was the director of Les Mis. So be sure to go check that out on YouTube as well. Anything for you, Julia?
Well, I had some friends that complained about Hugh Jackman's vibrato. Well, I have no complaints. Amanda Seyfried, I've heard that the voice was irritating on my ears. And I don't know. I don't have any complaints at the end of the day. I just...
At the end of the
At
day.
the end of the day, puns. Okay.
I love puns.
One thing that, I think people who, I have heard some complaints about Amanda Seyfried's voice. When she's singing A Heart Full of Love, the note she has to hit at the end of that ridiculously high, the fact that she did that live, probably take after take, and she has to do it twice in the movie.
Yeah.
Disgustingly awesome. Like, just props to you, Amanda Seyfried. Don't listen to anybody. That was awesome.
I heard a lot of good things about Amanda Seyfried. I was talking to my brother's girlfriend about her right after I saw the movie the second time. And she's like, usually Amanda Seyfried pisses me off. I can't stand her acting. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, but she was fabulous as Cosette. And I totally agree. I think it was a great choice. And I just really
And the thing is, Cosette is actually a pretty minor role.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the reason, the whole point between Marius and Cosette is to just kind of show they're the beacon of hope. That, you know, in this really not so great world, you know, people, and, you know, no matter the past, no matter what has happened, people can find love and be happy, and there's always that light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. So the fact that that's pretty much what she's there for, and the fact that she still stood out, it is a testament to her talent and just how great she was.
She's so versatile. Like, she was Karen in Mean Girls.
Yes.
For those of you that did not make that connection.
That was her starting role. I do have to say there was something that I was very, very disappointed with in the movie. Not so much a something as a someone.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Russell Crowe, my God. Maybe I'm a little harsh because I love Javert. I think Javert is the most complex character of the whole show. Javert thinks he's doing good all of his life. Like, he thinks that this is right and that's it. When you have to then change your parameters from what is right to what is good, it's so blurry and so not well defined that, you know, it just makes him more complex. Russell Crowe showed nothing of that complexity. To top it off, I'm sorry, I was so disappointed with his voice. So they were like, oh, he had months of singing lessons. I'm like, well, they didn't show. I'm sorry. When you sing the song Stars, and do you understand the song Stars? He's sitting there looking up at the heavens, looking at everything, trying to stare into the face of God, the person who he is working for and doing all these things for. And he's begging them, keep me on the straight path. You know, how do I even compare? I'm so small compared to you. How do I even try to achieve to your greatness, to your height? And you just, stars in your multitude. Really? No, Russell Crowe, that was not okay. I was very disappointed. He did get a little flack for it. He deserved it. I don't think he should have been in the movie. If that's the way he was going to do it, I'm sorry. They should have found somebody else. Like, get somebody. You took Samantha Barks from the 25th anniversary concert. Go get that guy. Go get that Javert. Bring him in.
Well, you know, I'm going to give him a little credit. No. I agree with what you're saying. I agree that his shift, he was like angry, and then literally when he was about, a spoiler alert, when he was about to kill himself, he like just flips, and you're like, why is he flipping? Because he's not showing that versatility of the character, like you were saying. But I will give him the fact that he played the stoicness pretty well. I think Russell Crowe is a good actor. This isn't his best movie. I think parts were well.
I think it was too stoic, though. He was basically introverted, which doesn't make sense. He's supposed to have this commanding presence. I think he just took it, it was just a level too far. Pull it back. You're Russell Crowe. You're brilliant. You can do it.
All right, Russell Crowe, I hope you're watching.
Any thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I was kind of a combination of the both of you, that I thought his interpretation, in his mind, what I drew from the whole movie overall was that he wanted his character to be very duty-oriented. So in the essence that he did not want to show emotion, that he, you know, was portraying this guy who was supposed to be his whole life duty, and now I don't know. Now I kind of want to watch it again.
I know, right?
I got to reevaluate
Just
a little
see
bit.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
let's see.
I don't know.
So let's we've got all our negative energy out. Favorite moments of the film?
Can I start?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I am really, in general, I'm obsessed with the character of Eponine because I think she's the most relatable character. But my favorite moment was on my own. I just love how Samantha Barks sang it. I just love that song in general. I love the rain. And that song is just so beautiful. And the moment is just so beautiful. And I can't get over that. That was my favorite moment.
So, okay, favorite moment.
Oh.
Putting her on
Me,
the spot.
my turn.
Yes.
I guess I would have to say empty chairs at empty tables.
Of course.
It's just heartbreaking and heartwarming, and the lyrics always are just resounding in my head.
Just all the lyrics in that song. I've never really listened closely. Like, I know the lyrics, I know the song, I sing along. But you listen to it and you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yes,
That is
exactly.
so upsetting. Like they're
Yeah.
never gonna be. You get that they're never gonna be back
I
there.
think because of the movie, you'd think it'd be the opposite. You'd think because it's a movie that there would be a lot more things to focus on, and you wouldn't focus on the lyrics.
Yeah.
I think the movie brought all the attention to the lyrics. Now, I would say that my favorite moment was Anne Hathaway's "I Dreamed a Dream" because it was gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
But I have got to say my favorite moment was the end for two reasons. First of all, I don't know, little piece of trivia, I don't know if anybody knows this, the man who played the bishop in the beginning and in the end, he was the original Jean Valjean in West End's production in London and on Broadway as well. Because they brought him back, I love that. And I love that they then brought him in at the end, which isn't originally in the musical. I love that they got to showcase him again. But when they showed quote unquote heaven, and it was just where the barricade was located, and it was all the people who had died and all the people who had suffered, and they were all just there singing that, you know, our story's not over and it's gonna keep going, and I'm gonna start crying just thinking about
Just
it.
got chills again.
It was, yeah, I did too. It was so beautiful, and it was so well done, and the ending was just, it was just everything, and it was just the culmination of a fantastic movie. So I think overall you can pretty much see, we all loved it. If you haven't seen it, please go out and see it. It's so worth your time.
Yes.
This is gonna be Blu-ray the first day it comes out, me. But that's all we have for this segment of Culture Shock. Be sure to stay tuned this semester for more YouTube segments for this show, and we will see you later, Stevens Point.